It's very challenging to lead a consortium with 32 partners. We're also with more than 150 people involved in a 20 million euro project. We do play Champions League, and it's very difficult also to work in a setting with different cultures. We have Northeast Estonian, we have Belgian, we have Spanish background, Pamplona, Genk and Tartu. And it really also, you see the difference in collaborating with the people. And it changes your setting. But what is actually the most rewarding is that we really make the difference. We're not just doing a project and providing reports and deliverables, but we really are practicing what we preach. We really make the change happening. We do renovate buildings. We make them future-proof. We literally change the life of the people that we're doing this project for. So it's a great opportunity, but we're not there yet, but we're happy and making progress.
I'm Philippe Lacquy from the social housing company Wonen in Limburg. We participate with open Lab in New Texas. We want to renovate 27 buildings and therefore we organized previous year 3 co-creation sessions with our tenants. And we find 27 tenants who want to participate. After that, we find a designer to support us with 2 tenders. One tender for technical solutions, like an energy box with plug-and-play devices. And another tender was for the prefabricated walls to insulate the buildings. We are glad to find the contractors, and we can start in, we hope, January 24 with a pilot case. It will be the first dwelling with the energy box and the prefabricated walls. And then in April 24 we hope to do the other dwellings. It's very important that the owners and the tenants stay in the buildings during the renovations. That's important because it's a high cost to move them to another place. So the renovation is already high in price.
In Pamplona, in the framework of open Lab project, we have supported the creation of an energy community, which is now legally formalized. The involvement of people, of a small group, of a steering group, has been the main success factor for this. We are now going to install a PV roof over a public school, and this 80% of this energy will be for the energy community that then will be able to start new projects by their own.
My name is Merit Tatar. I am coordinating the Citizen Engagement and Communication Task Group in Open Lab Tartu Living Lab. Thinking about the setting up of our Living Lab in Tartu, it hasn't been really difficult, and I think some of the key drivers or reasons behind this are that with those stakeholders that operate in our Living Lab, the cooperation has been long-term already. It has worked excellently in previous years. So the foundation has been set up already very good to work also in Tartu Living Lab. Another thing is that we have a very strong political support, and the political commitment from the city government and the values they share and what are important in city strategic visions are very much supporting our endeavors in Tartu Living Lab as well. So we are really working with quadruple helix setting. All partners have a lot of expertise, and our Living Lab is also open to new stakeholders. So this mutual trust, cooperation, openness are the values that are really helping us in Open Lab Tartu. as well. This part of the Living Lab is really nicely working. We have some big challenges ahead, and they come basically from the fact that we have to deal with citizens and houses in our Living Lab, which are of course one of the key parts, key stakeholders, but our situation in Tartu is very complicated because we deal with multi-flat stories, and these houses are very big, they are very fragmented in the social structure, and all flats are privately owned, so we are not dealing just one stakeholder but thousands of them, and this is really challenging. Because of the social situation, the global situation, we have a lot of vulnerable groups in those houses, and we always have to find new ways how to really mediate between these macro level issues and micro level situation. And another thing is that we haven't yet managed to engage one of the key stakeholders, it's TSO. For example, when we're talking about PEN technologies, for example PV solars, then we have many challenges there how to really implement them on practical ways, because TSO, it needs a lot of discussions with our TSO to enable actually PEN, some of the PEN technological innovations. To say on general level, I think one of the key values has been, even though one of the most challenging has been communicating and engaging people and inhabitants of our multi-story buildings, it has been one of the most valuable ones, because we have really received very valuable input, especially from the citizens, from the housing association boards that we deal with everyday basis, and trying to find new ways to engage them even further. And on general level, I think one of the key challenges in each Living Lab is to really mediate between this macro level, political issues, regulations, what's going on global level, and between micro level, really going close to the people and trying to find ways for them to be part of this new green projects. But we hope that Tartu will also eventually succeed in all of those goals.
So when you look at the oPEN Lab being a pilot project in 3 cities, when you compare this pilot project to the Living Lab definition, this is what we call the meso level of a Living Lab. So it's the project level in which 3 cities now decided to run and develop certain innovations in their cities, implementing feedback from the users and from the companies doing it, and hopefully out of that project at the end there will become the creation of what we call the macro level of a Living Lab, which is the long-term vision in which strategic partners in each of those 3 cities in Genk, Tartu and Pamplona will decide on strategic partnerships to achieve energy communities and positive energy neighborhoods. But that will go beyond the oPEN Lab project, because there will be different things to be taken care of. It needs to be scaled up, because now they are doing it in a very specific area in their city, and probably by the end of the project they will scale it further to other neighborhoods in their city. So the pilot project oPEN Lab is the middle part of a Living Lab, the meso level like we call it, of which there is one macro level on top, envisioning the long-term strategies supported by partners in the region and existing out of micro activities like co-creation, experimentation, ideation, and hopefully in the end, of course, implementation.
How is the design of buildings used to reduce energy demand in oPEN Lab? When it comes to reducing the energy demand in buildings, the first idea that comes into our mind is the design, but as Open Lab is dealing with renovation, many of the important decisions that impact energy demand and energy efficiency of those buildings were taken many decades ago. So the first step into the design process is to better understand the deficiencies of those buildings, and as such, Open Lab is deploying a wide array of techniques in order to understand the deficiencies of these buildings. Then what we do subsequently is to scan the buildings and create BIM models, and those BIM models are then translated into energy simulation models in order to ensure the highest energy efficiency of the renovation projects and the most suitable mix of renewable energy generation in the buildings. The design process could be made at an individual level or, most importantly, for a set of buildings, and as they can interoperate in order to significantly reduce their demand from the energy grid. Open Lab, in this sense, Open Lab is pioneering the use of digital twins to support the analysis and design of the renovations, either individual or of a set of group of buildings. The laser scanning data is used in conjunction with BIM models to produce prefabricated elements in a production line. In such way, we minimize the kind of errors that could compromise the energy efficiency of the retrofitted buildings. Finally, during the operational phase, digital twins are also brought to optimize the operational strategies so we can further reduce the energy demand and make the most reasonable use of energy, paving the way towards positive energy neighborhoods and districts.
We need modular prefabricated renovation to save time and to increase the quality. If we see today common on-site renovation, then it takes a lot of time. We may say that it takes months, many months. But with prefabricated off-site renovation, when insulation elements will be produced at factory conditions, transported on-site and mounted to the facade, the process will be much quicker and the quality will be much higher. And another important thing is that we just don't have enough handworks to make all this work on site. We need to use industrial methods like it happens in the car industry 100 years ago when first cars made one by one, and after that when they produced on factory, the cost decreased and production increased. And we need same in building renovation as well.
I'm Alicia Kans, I'm Work Package 5 leader. The main objective of Work Package 5 is to successfully demonstrate how to get energy systems up and running for each open living lab. We are chiefly planning and coordinating the rollout of the different energy systems, focusing on innovation. And we are developing renewable energy systems, storage systems, among others, and all to be deployed at building or at district level, or both. All partners involved in this task are magnificently collaborating within the demos of the project, and at the same time attending to the local social, economic and technical aspects and requirements towards a positive energy neighborhood. At this stage of the project in Genk, Tartu and Pamplona, the technical tenders have been launched and some have already awarded. We are very proud. In the meantime, we are continuing to develop the technical solutions, carrying out the necessary configurations, programming and testing them at laboratory level and performing at real conditions. We are very inspired.
We are conducting sensor measurements and distributing a questionnaire. And the sensor measurements involve short-term and long-term measurements. So the long-term measurements involve measurements of the inner conditions, the gas use, electricity use, and the water use of the dwellings. And the questionnaire asks people about characteristics of their dwellings, so the building, like for example the systems in the dwellings, also their comfort and their user behavior. Based on these data, we are analyzing the comfort of the inhabitants and reasons why discomfort occurs. We are analyzing their energy use behavior and also building envelope characteristics like air tightness and the heat loss coefficient. Future steps involve also normalizing the gas use and electricity use based on this data so that we can compare the energy use before and after renovation.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria Zagano from BPIE, Buildings Performance Institute Europe. We're based in Brussels and we're involved in the Open Lab project. And in order to scale up PEN project all over Europe, it is important to activate private financing because the first pilots, such as our projects within Open Lab, rely heavily on public funding. But in order to scale up in other cities, the positive energy neighborhoods, it's important that we accelerate private financing in this. And to enable this, basically the developer or investors have to have a stable framework of policy in order to be able to plan their business models, and their business models rely a lot on the energy sharing possibilities or energy flexibility selling. So all the regulatory frameworks that regard collective production, sharing and selling of energy and flexibility are still being implemented in member states. It's a fast-changing policy context, and this does not make a secure investment environment. That's why the implementation of the Renewable Energy Directive of 2018 has to be speeded up. The new directive has to also be implemented. Besides that, we have to also further develop the EU taxonomy and the ESG finance that could finance these sustainable projects such as are the positive energy neighborhoods.